dam, hoping to see what it is that we can find alongside it. Very, very excited for this afternoon. And we've got a nice little clip for you to have a look at of some more cute action.
The mom lioness came out, and so did the cubs. So, can you believe it? 3 little cubs. They are so cute. And they're just following the mom. Wow, what a great way to start the morning, the lion cubs. Thanks for sending us all those good vibes, everybody. Oh, that's amazing. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. Our plan came together. We've been looking for these cubs for a few days now, so isn't that stunning?
Well, there you have it, some more bundles of joy. Now, joining us on our Sunset Safari will be a handful of others. In the Lowveld, we will have Tristan and Sean. And all the way in the Masai Mara, we will have David joining us. Hoping everyone has a fantastic afternoon safari and that they find all the animals that they'll be looking for. Like I said, we're going to spend some time around this dam, seeing what there is here. And then we've got 2 big choices to make, whether we go to Queen and see if we can find her cubs again, or her and her cubs, or do we go across to Lake Kyle and see if we can find the lions and their cubs. We're on a mission to find those cubs. Like I said, I've ticked off one of the checklists, which is finding Queen and her cubs, well, now the other one is to find the lion cubs. But we'll be patient, But alongside here, actually, there are some hippos over here that are, well, lying pretty flat, there was a little bit more activity there, but it seems now everyone is sleeping. But the perfect time to tell you that this is a live and interactive show, so please do send through your questions and your comments. You can get a hold of us via the various social media platforms, get involved in the conversation. It's actually quite weird to see how this happens. This lady, I suspect this is the lady, has got her head completely submerged in the water, but the rest of her body is out. Very interesting. Anyway, we're going to send you over to David to say good afternoon and find out what his plans are.
And jumbo everyone, we just had a little bad like breast roller on a particular bush here, and as soon as the director came to me, it decided to fly, but luckily not very far from that particular bush, and possibly she has gone down there to hunt, and I would hope she gets herself something. I mean, Eric, staying near a water body is a very good idea on such a hot afternoon like it is here in the Masai Mara, because even for myself and Shiv, we are headed to the Mara River, and I'm talking the northern side of the Mara River that I have not been since I got back to the Mara. Now, our lilac-breasted roller has gone back to the same bush she was before, and not sure whether she has caught something for herself. We'll be finding out now. When we got here, there were 2 of them, and my assumption was a male and a female. And I only stopped because I'm sure you all know this is my favorite bird, the lilac-breasted roller. Now, this bush I have not understood, because when I have come here and found this roller's not on it, I have literally walked to that particular bush to find out what is there that they love. Now, this is the bigger bush where she is perched, but if you look carefully, there is another another greener bush right below it, and Safari Vibes, wonderful to hear your name, and you're saying jumbo to myself, and Shiv back there, and you're saying back to you, a very big jumbo, Safari Vibes. Now, there's another bush, you see the green one with bigger leaves there? That one is what we call thorn apple, or Datura astronomium. Thank you, Shiv, for showing us, and I'm sure Safari Vibes is happy with that. And I go there, I do not see any reason why these particular rollers are always here. Again, as I said, it was a male and a female before, but the male or the female decided to take off. We all know these particular rollers don't have a very clear sexual dimorphism, but I'm sure it's one of them that has been left there. Maybe, if you look to the left of that, or the area she had landed before, they normally get lots of food to eat. This morning, we are very lucky with Shiv. We were able to see cheetah for the first time. I think Shiv saw a cheetah for the first time in the wilderness. And I'm hoping that particular cheetah was able, his name is Ruka, was able to get some kill, because he was on a mission. He kept moving. He did not stop. He kept looking for prey. And I think by the time we left him, he had walked about 5 kilometers, if not more. My big plans this afternoon with Shiv is to go back to the area we left him, find out what could be happening, and also, as I said, to go to the Mara River, the northern part, and just see how it looks, because we got people on the ground who are telling us where we usually see the crossing, and if anything would be happening there, they will be telling us, and we are going to drive there. Linda, I'm not sure exactly what you said, and I would request the director, Nadine, to repeat what she just said, what you call these particular birds, because it sounded quite a good name. Did you get it, Shiv? Throw bunch. I will tell you from where I come from, Linda. We call it Kanyoni. Linda, I'm sure. In East Africa and also in Kenya, we got 3 ethnic groups, three linguistic groups. We have the Bantus, we have the Kushites, and we have the Nilotics. I come from the Bantus, and I hope my name is a lot easier for this than yours. Yours is equally hard as saying the lilac-breasted roller, because where we come from, we struggle a lot between the 2 letters L and R. Many times we are not able to roll our tongues, and I'm sure Nadine, the director of the drive, can testify that. I might call this bird the lilac-breasted Lola. Then I'm like, 1 minute, that was not right. I have to prepare my tongue and roll it nicely. Not like Shiv behind me here will very quickly say lilac-breasted roller. Well, I will now head to where we left Ruka this morning, again towards the Mara River, the northern part, and I'm sure Sean is ready to say jumbo to all of you.
The one looks like it's got
hello, friends, and I can confidently say we are back. What do you reckon? I think we can confidently say we're back. My name is Sean. In the back, standing there in the CEO's office, is the one and only Impor, and we are looking forward to an amazing drive this afternoon. We're going to start with a young bull Ellie who is slowly making his way up the river here. Now, the plan for this afternoon is our friends at the Tracker Academy picked up tracks this morning of part of the Black Dam Pride. So we are going to go and follow up in that area and see whether we get lucky with them. I don't know which ones are which. I haven't seen the tracks yet. But of course, every time we hear of lion tracks, we always hope that the one and only is with them, our friend Pasanwari. So let's hold thumbs that we get a glimpse of him. It has been a while. So that is the plan today. I'm essentially going for those lion tracks. But of course, as we move around Sandringham, we will be looking out for our friends out here in the wild, starting, as I said, with this boy who is just slowly meandering along the river, moving upstream, feeding on deliciousness. There's just still so much food around, and the Ellies are loving life at the moment. Nora, it is a lovely start. I love. I always get a good feeling when I start with elephants. I always think that's a fantastic way to start any game drive. So we were out this morning trying to get some footage for you guys, and we came across those 3 big bull elephants that we saw the other day. And I tell you, Nora, it's awesome. I love these guys. They are very cool. And I'm having a look through my binoculars here, and you can see he's got evenly matched tusks there. And it's interesting. I wonder which is which in terms of, is he right or left-sided? It's actually quite difficult to tell. I would go for the right side. I think the right side looks a bit blunter and a bit more damaged, whereas the left side looks a little bit more less used, should I say. But yeah, he's just loving his life here, and no friends around. I think he's going it solo at the moment. I think he's contemplating life, change of season for these animals now. And what's interesting for me is we always can see as winter is changing, and you can tell by the state of their dung. But that will be a story for another segment. For now, we're going to head over to the one and only Tristan and see what he is up to in Chitwa.
Well, a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. The good is that those are the cubs for the Nkuhuma Pride. The bad news is that it's raining, which is never fun in the winter. Not hugely impressed by the fact that it's raining right now. Anyway, my name is Tristan. On camera I've got Bibo, and it is a warm welcome to the Sabi Sands. As I said, it is cold, rainy and quite miserable, but at least we've started off by finding these little guys. Sadly, they are quite far into Djuma at the moment. We're in the Mulawati, and I knew that they were seen somewhere along Gari Main today, but they've obviously wandered into the riverbed itself, and there's this one small little gap that we can see into the riverbed and see them. I don't think the adults are here. They were seen in Arathusa this morning. So they were heading east and coming generally back this way, and why I came this way is just to check if they didn't pick up the cubs, given the weather has been so wild and cold. But I don't think they have, and now that it's raining, we might see these cubs go and bundle up in a thicket and out of the weather. As we know, cats don't particularly like the rain. Also, don't really want to spend too much time with them if the adults are not present. I know the guys do view them from time to time, but I've never really been a fan of sitting with cubs without mom. But we thought we'd just show you guys, just so you know where they are. Safari vibes, good afternoon to you too. And I'm sure Bibo expresses the same. It is a lovely start to the drive. Like I say, having little lion cubs is always sweet. They all huddle together. Shame, I'm sure they're not enjoying the weather, and they would like mom to come back so that they can cuddle up and have a little suckle, but alas, they're going to have to probably wait until the darkness sets in, and then they might have moms coming back. Maybe with this rain though, you never know, maybe they'll come through. The plan was initially to go and try and follow up on that leopard that was seen in front of Chitwa camp this morning, but guests are all still in camp, so we can't really drive anywhere there. I did the one road and there was no tracks to indicate that that leopard has come out.
And so we thought we'd just do a little bit of a scratch down this side of the world and then head back that way once everyone is moving. All right. Like I said, I'm probably not going to stay with them if the adults are not here. I'll just do a little scan around, drop down a little bit further into the drainage and just see. In the meantime, though, let's send you across to Eric and see how his search is going in Mabula.
We've got a bit of traffic here down at the main dam, but that's fine. There's no worries at all. Hello, hello. Good, good. Enjoy. Anyway, here's a main dam. You can see a little glimpse of it there, just in the top. Now, I said the other day, let's go this way. No, not behind me. That there used to be a mom with a hippo baby in here. Mom and baby hippo. I don't think they're here anymore. And then a young croc, not an old croc, a young croc was here as well. So just sort of little squares and see what is here. But I don't think we're going to stay very long if there's not much to be seen. It looks like an awful lot of water, and that is generally about it. We'll look carefully, because sometimes the crocs like to hang around the edge of that. Well, actually the hippos like to hang along the edge there. The croc likes this little edge over here, but there's where's all the little grebes? Very, very quiet here. No, it's a nice little dam. It's pretty big, actually, and for a lot of the animals close to like the rain meter and your regional plains area, as well as Pumba Plains, this is probably the biggest waterhole that's closest to them. It is about I would say, maybe as the crow flies to rain meter plains, it's probably about 2-3 kilometers. But in order for us to drive there, it does take a little bit more, obviously, because we're not driving in a straight line. But very, very quiet. Nice reflection, though, of a very grumpy-looking sky. It was rather nice this morning. A little bit of sunshine, and it seems like that's the trend of what's happening nowadays. Sun in the morning, clear skies, and then a whole lot of overcast in the afternoons. Michelle, I think it all depends on where the waterhole is situated. If there's kind of a lot of foresty sort of thicket around a waterhole, generally we might see smaller animals, and then, you know, in the open plains, like what's happening on the other side here, we might find your bigger animals. Those will be your plains game. But for here, I mean, I think we might get the best of both, actually. Lots of smaller animals around here, but then also lots of bigger animals. Anyway, let us move on, because it doesn't seem like there's much going on here, and we continue on. I am not going to go through this rather muddy looking bog hole. That is a bog hole for sure. That is where people get stuck, and I will not be it. Not today. Maybe on another day when there's a little less water. But even still, even when there's a little less water, you want to wait a good while, because that soil is very saturated, and you might drive on it and the wheels will just go in, and the car will sit at an angle like this, and it's not a very fun angle to be at, but it also makes it very, very difficult to be pulled out. So Joshua, Usually they like to do that because in the middle of the day sometimes it can be very, very hot. So during your winter seasons, animals go down to the water any time of the day. It's not really too much of a problem. But in the summertime, when the temperatures tend to peak midday, so sometimes they can get up to, it depends where you are, between 35 degrees all the way up to sometimes even 43 degrees, 45 degrees, in between there. It's so hot, no one really wants to do anything. The lions are underneath the trees, and so the impala, the wildebeest will find any form of shade that they can. Zebra, kudu, it's basically no one wants to be out in that blazing hot sun. Anyway, then we're going to send you over to David, who's found some chicanas.
I'm Butch James, World Cup winning Springbok fly half. Rugby has taken me to many incredible places around the world, but it's Africa's wild places where I feel most at home. This July and August, after the Springbok tests against England, Wales and the All Blacks, join me on a series of luxury safaris. There we will share some rugby stories, open fires and some incredible wildlife sightings, all under the African skies. See you in the bush.
Hi, I'm Cedric Dold, Wild Earth presenter and private guide. I'd love you to join me on safari. In September, I'll be at Valgevonden for a beautiful spring safari. And in November, I'll be tracking Wild Earth's famous leopards here in the Sabi Sands. Come and share the wildlife, the stories and the adventure with me. Book now and let's go on safari.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
We are following the story of 32 rhinos that are making their way to their new home at Mabula Private Game Reserve.
We haven't seen Vuli for quite a long time. There's a lioness with 3-day-old cubs that is around here.
Isn't that beautiful?
Those little ones are so playful.
Hey guys.
You can really see how big he is.
And how many? All right. I think she caught herself a fish. So she flies down very quickly, either grabs something back to that reed. Then they do what we call a doping. They try to estimate where the fish is. How is this particular kingfish, excuse my hand there, they'll always catch small, I would say, baby fish from the catfish in the water. How is the kingfishers that will catch the very big one, big catfish, for example, will be the giant kingfishers. The malachite, I'm sure you can tell, they're small in size and they can only catch what they can be able to break down, swallow, and think that's exactly what she's trying to do, to maybe butter it a bit, crush it a little bit, and then she is able to swallow it. And what a sighting. She made me forget about the African jacana. And the one we were seeing there, I'm assuming it is a male. I forgive him if he is the one who lost the chicks or the chiquitos. And how nice to see, an African, or rather the Malachite kingfisher. That is a good thing to me to see. Having missed the DOS chiquitos from the African green or the great crown cranes that I left here sometimes back, and there's nobody now there. The African jacana doesn't have any of the 3 chicks that I left before going home. I'm getting a bit of consolation by seeing this particular Malachite kingfisher. And stay right there, because I had seen another beautiful bird that you call the black crake. Oh, you saw it? You saw it too? Very good, very good. And just to let you know, I found out, this is my 4th day with Shiv. She got a very sporty eye. Pat, I agree with you. Of all the kingfishers we got in the Mara, Pat, this one to me is one of the most beautiful ones. Pat, not sure what you'd think of the pygmy kingfisher, which sometimes we mix or confuse with the Malachite kingfisher. But another one that I saw the other day, which is rarely seen, was the giant kingfisher. Now, she has flown away, and I'm sure she will want to take us back to the African jacana. I do not know where those chicks went. Not sure this is the same jacana we had, or I had, with the chicks. And I'm sure you know, once the mating is done, the female lays the eggs, of course, after some nest is built by the males. And once the incubation starts, the female walks away as soon as she lays the eggs and leaves the male alone, incubating the eggs and taking care of them. Tough life for the males. And not sure they get tired, or they do not, have a lot of energy to take care of the chicks once they hatch. But I am seeing 0 chiquitos here. The kingfisher gone, and I think my African jacana has gone down right the same spot she was at. And my guess is it is a male. I'm not sure whether she got, or rather he got, a nest there or not. I think what we need to do, she is okay, we're going to move forward a little bit, and maybe we might smoke any other jacana here. Leandra, I'm trying to remember what other birds behave like this, but in general, the jacanas are rather unique, where you will have the males taking care of the eggs, incubating, and not behaving. I'm trying to remember, Leander, not behaving like the ostriches, where you get both, sexes taking care of the eggs, incubating the eggs, taking care of the chicks as they grow. The grey crown crane, as we were told. Stop there. What did you say? Oh, good, very good eyes. I assure all of you, you overheard me saying that Shiv got very sporty eyes. Let me know when sawa. And you remember earlier I said I suspected some of the predators, or the predation of one of the chiquitos, was done either by a Nile monitor lizard or a mashoigo. I'm not sure whether it is this particular one here or not. Burukenge. In our local language, or rather in Kiswahili, a monitor lizard is called a burukenge. That doesn't sound as good as the Bila Shakalaga, but one of our directors called Jared, anytime I talk of a monitor lizard, and when the viewers ask me what is a monitor lizard in Kiswahili, and I tell them it's called burukenge, he loves to hear that. I'm just trying to give some little directions to one of my friends from Governor's Camp, who got guests who came in today, and they're very excited. They are seeing grass, they're seeing impalas, and they are getting super excited by seeing anything. And I'm sure a burukenge or a Nile Monte lizard would be something very special for them. Shiv, are you trying to suggest a mama's drink tonight?
Well, it's a trade, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you owe me a few, so we'll first you take care of me, then I'll think of you tomorrow or the day after. Sean was looking for some lions earlier. Not sure whether he is winning or not.
David, a post-safari drink sounds amazing, and you deserve it, buddy, because that cheetah sighting this morning was next level. So often you see them in the bush and off they go, but that was a proper sighting, man. That was awesome. So what are Umpo and I doing? We are on our way to the area where those lion tracks were, but we are driving slowly because, as we all know, lions do not just sit and wait for guides. I wish they did. They don't answer WhatsApps, they don't answer emails, so we have to kind of live with it and look for them. So we're heading in that direction, and we're going to try and see whether we possibly can pick them up. It'll be great to see them. And so Nadine in my ear is saying we should try and phone or fax them. She obviously knows something that I don't. It'll be interesting to see. Can you imagine? Hello? Sorry, I'm busy eating a buffalo now. I can't talk. Put the phone down. I think that's what will happen, Nadine, to be honest with you. I don't think they take phone calls too lightly. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. The weather's turning here. I know Tristan had a little bit of rain. We're lucky that we haven't had any rain here. But yeah, the weather's turning. We've got a cold front coming, and it's good for the predators because they use the wind to their advantage. It dulls the senses of the other animals. So the impala, the buffalo, all of those animals that rely on their sense of hearing and smell to help evade predators, those senses are dulled slightly. And also the rise in pressure affects the olfactory organs as well. And it puts pressure. So like we would go up in a jet or in a plane and fly up, and you get that popping ear. It happens to them. We've kind of evolved out of it for when pressure changes on the ground, but for them, they still struggle with that, so it affects them. And so generally what happens is the prey species generally move away, and the predators will then go and look for them. So we often get lucky if we have a day or two of weather like this where the predators have actually killed something, and so we're hoping that we get something right next to the road. But again, unfortunately, Nadine, I don't think they're going to answer the phone call or the fax. I haven't said the word fax in ages, by the way. I can't remember the last time anyone sent a fax. That's amazing. But yeah, and we're in this beautiful area here. It's got lots of beautiful trees. Umpo and I are waiting for our first leopard sighting. So Lucas, absolutely it does. So but look, it also depends on where they are. You know, if they are downwind, it can help them, but if they're upwind, absolutely it can. You can imagine if any of you that are watching in very windy places along the coast, you can imagine when that wind is howling in your ears and you're standing in an open area, you struggle to hear things, and someone's talking to you and you go, what? Because you can't hear what they're saying. So it's the same for these guys, yeah, I feel very sorry for them, but it kind of is how it goes out here. And yeah, the wind definitely plays a part. So we're going to carry on looking. We're not too far away from the tracks, I don't think. We're going to head over to Tristan and see if he is having a better opportunities with the weather that side.
Well, it stopped raining, so that's a plus. And it looks as though it's fairly clear from where it's coming from. It looks as though it's kind of a bit of blue sky there, so fingers crossed that the sun maybe comes out. But so far, unfortunately, we have not found any sign of anything remotely worth following at this stage. It seems quite quiet. I think with that rain, maybe everything just hunkered down for 5 minutes, and hopefully now that it stops, we'll start to see animals moving. I'm just going to make my way down to Chipta Dam. I want to check carefully that this leopard this morning didn't actually cross over the dam wall and down behind it. So giraffe goat, Chipondo and Chipuku, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I would say that both of them are no longer with us, just purely from the time frame that it's been. Chipondo was relaxed enough that she would have been seen. I guess there is an outside chance that they're both still alive, but I would be shocked if they are. If you look at how much Kuchava's been calling, if for any reason Shipuku was in the area, he would have come trotting back to mom to come and see how she's doing. So I just don't see it personally. You know, the outside chance is that it has rained a lot and it is very wet and still, and there's a lot of water still, and so as things dry, then there's a possibility that these cats turn up at some random waterhole in Kruger. It is within the realm of possibility, but it doesn't seem hopeful. As to what happened to them, anyone's guess at this stage. You know, it could have been male leopard changeover with Milwaukee disappearing. Could have been lions. You know, we had a lot of lions around of late. So yeah, I'm not sure what exactly would have caused it, but I'll remain hopeful, but I doubt that those two are still alive, unfortunately. You know, it's just been such a long time, and normally when young cats distribute, they go and then they come back, and then the circle just gets bigger and bigger, and eventually they don't come back anymore. If you look at like Inzatini, when she left this area, she would go on these long walkabouts, but she then kind of circle back, whereas we haven't seen that from Chipondo. And you know, Juma at the moment I think is just opened again, and so there is people driving there, so it's not like there's no one on Juma at the moment. And so I don't expect that either of them are still with us. Sadly, it is very, very sad, because little Chipondo was a cute cat. I really liked her. And Shipuku, I saw him a handful of times. I didn't see him probably as much as what Wild Earth did, but he always seemed quite shy. He reminded me a lot of Tsemba, which was Kuchava's firstborn. He was a very cool cat as well. But same sort of demeanor, was a little bit sort of nervy about the cars. Took him a while to settle down, and he too also just disappeared one day. We were seeing him a lot, and he then unfortunately, really, I don't know where he went. And he was big by then. He was already well on his way to adulthood at that point. See a few little impalas and a hippo that are in the background. Yeah, there's guinea fowl again. Where is it? Room 11. Okay, let's just quickly go around and see. Maybe we can get lucky here. Can hear some guinea fowl alarm calling, and we heard them earlier too when we were getting ready to go and drive, and couldn't quite place where it was because there was a bit of a building a staff room there, so there was banging and stuff, and it was hard to hear, but I can hear guinea fowl alarm calling down that side. So we're going to just try and get around, but we're going to try go fairly quickly because guineas don't alarm that long if it's a leopard. It could be a bird of prey, but I see the fish eagle is here, so doubt that that's that. And given where this leopard was, it's possible that she ended up making her way towards that area. The guys said this morning they had alarm calls in that section, so I just want to go around quickly and see if we can't pick up something. Guinea fowl are not the most reliable, but they're certainly better than nothing.
Hello guys, so we are in the area where we got the tip off that the lion tracks are/were. And so we're just slowly moving along, just looking for any signs, which could be anything from the tracks themselves to vehicle tracks going into the bush. Sometimes that helps us find them too. Yeah, just keeping tabs on what's going on here. And when we're looking for tracks like this on the vehicle, sometimes what we do is we'll move slowly through the area, and then sometimes what is a good thing to do is if you don't see them with the vehicle, you turn off and you walk the road a little bit, and look for the tracks. You always got to do the road first in the vehicle, because you obviously on foot you're going to chase the animal, so you don't really want to chase the animal off and then have an issue. But so you want to do it first with the vehicle, come back around, and then try and see if you can find the tracks again, and then walk it a little bit just to get an idea of where those animals went, because the whole idea of this is to keep the animals calm and collected. You don't want to scare them off. It takes years. We were talking the other evening with Mr. Rod Wyndham, and as he mentioned, this used to be a hunting farm, and it takes years to rehabilitate the animals, but you can break their trust like that. Tracy, sure. I would say probably the easiest thing for tracking is when you've got tracks over your tire tracks from the previous game drive. I would say that's probably the easiest thing, because then, because there's so many things that can age the track. Wind can age it. I'm sure lots of you avid watchers of Wild Earth, which I know there's lots of you, know exactly us guides have mentioned how to age a track. But the easiest way is to basically, if it goes over our tracks, then we know, okay, this is fresh, regardless of what's going on with the actual elements out there. We can still, we know for sure that this is over our tracks, and we can have a look at and see how it's going. So I'm just going to do a little loop around here. Also, while you're tracking as well, you're listening. So you want the car to kind of just tick over slowly, and you want to listen out for any alarm calls. Tristan just had the guinea fowl calling now. Sometimes that can be a telltale sign that there's a predator in the area. We're listening for alarm calls. We're looking for vultures as well. If they've made a kill, sometimes the vultures will go in the tree. And that helps us quite a bit, because if the vultures are all in the tree, then you know there's a predator on the ground. If you see the vultures landing and going on the ground and hearing them fighting, then you know there's no big predator around. And it's safe to kind of go in and have a look and see what had been killed. So it's very, very cool. But I don't see anything at the moment. So I think what we will end up doing is turning around, and I think I'm going to just go on foot a little bit and try and see whether we can maybe pick them up on foot and get some tracks, and maybe walk into the block a little bit and see whether we can find these guys. It's been quite a few hours since it's happened, so they could be lying under a tree somewhere. You never know. That's the cool thing what's that? That's the cool thing about this job, is everything happens in the moment. You never know what's happening. It's so cool. So guys, I think we're gonna swing around. We're gonna go and have a look. I'm gonna jump off the vehicle. I'm dying to try and find these lions for you guys if I can. In the meantime, we're gonna send you over to David, and he's got a few endangered birds for you.
I am counting about 6 species, maybe going to 10 of birds we have seen with Shiv this afternoon. I think of the 10, maybe only one, she says was new to her. But, and I'm talking about, was it the African spoonbill you said?
Spoonbill, yeah.
Yeah, the spoonbill, so from a distance. But always wonderful to see the ground hornbills any time, regardless of how many times you see them. They'll always have wonderful stories to talk about. Very special birds. They have very interesting folklore stories here in Africa. And, you know, not once we have known there's a particular boom call they make, where way back, personally, I used to confuse that to lions, but there's another high-pitched one they also kind of call they make. And once they do that, we have always known 150% it's going to rain. Shiv, did you know that?
I did not know that.
Now you know. Very good. So it's very difficult. I'm not very good in imitating calls, but there's that one very special call they make, and we'll always start preparing. If you're away from the village, away from home, you have to pace up and very quickly get home, or prepare yourself to be rained on. By the time you get home, it's like you'll be coming out of a swimming pool in your normal clothes. Very monogamous birds, we know them, and they own this particular territory. We are very close to the marsh area currently, and Shiv told me she might have seen this particular pair a few times with Team. How many times did you see them, roughly? Couple of times. And they're the same ones we saw with Imara sometimes back. One time we saw them murdering a snake, and another time we saw them feeding on a reptile, which even today I've never known whether it was a tortoise or a marsh terrapin, but I knew it was a shelled reptile of some sort. Wildlife lady.
I'm Butch James, World Cup winning Springbok fly half. Rugby has taken me to many incredible places around the world, but it's Africa's wild places where I feel most at home. This July and August, after the Springbok tests against England, Wales and the All Blacks, join me on a series of luxury safaris. There we will share some rugby stories, open fires and some incredible wildlife sightings, all under the African skies. See you in the bush.
Alright then, let me show you what you're missing. Our archive allows you to delve into the past, be it yesterday or many years ago. You can visit characters who've left us.
Doesn't ever get old.
This is, of course, the Little Prince, Hosanna, guides who've moved on to other things.
Tingana's walking right in front of my vehicle.
These guys are the sausage tree pride.
Classic stories and wonderful moments. Wild Earth Explorers, wilder together. When the Mara turns green, life surges, the air hums, the earth stirs, and the wild comes alive. Here, the wonder never ends. It just changes color. Every storm, every sunrise, every sweeping vista is an expression of wild magic. Visit the Masai Mara. Experience the magic. Sign up today and you'll get instant access to wildlife. You'll also have access to our post-produced content, like a Wild Bush Week. Textbooks tell us that a ratio of 3-to-1 hyenas drive off lionesses. SafariLIVE catch-up.
We have got some doggies that are on the hunt.
And even that sort of cult favourite, The Wild Show. And the little one has made it out and hopefully will rejoin the herd. Wild Earth Explorers. Wilder. Together.
The animals, be it waterbucks, be it any mammals, they'll always try to avoid the direction the wind is coming from, and they will go for the wind and not against the wind. The very slow hunters, Nadia, as you can see, but currently, Nadia, we do not have any wind. It's very still, it's very quiet, and they'll step, slowly look, and unlike the secretary birds or other birds that you'll see disturbing the ground looking for prey, this one will just have to wait until physically they can catch up with some prey. Another 2 minutes, Shiv, if you allow me, because she's coming out. We rarely see their feet because they're always on the ground, and if this one of them will want to come on the road, we might have to see the whole body of this southern ground hornbill. If she or he will want to cross the road to the other side, they rarely use their feet also to murder their prey. Are you happy there, Shiv? And she decided to cross the road, left the other one in a little trench. The trench is holding some water, and maybe she is frogging or fishing. It could be anything. Ooh. We definitely know the females will have the purple or blue color they got on their wattles, unlike the males. And possibly, I'm guessing that could be the female. I think you can see the blue, purple under the beak or on the wattle. You see how she is looking. So they physically have to see the prey, unlike, other hunters like you've seen. For example, the yellow-billed storks, when they hunt, they need to feel what is under the water, and you see them disturbing the water using one foot, and then they'll pick it up once the feelers on the feet know where the prey is, and they just use the long, sharp beaks like spears. Now, if you go, thank you, Shiv was thinking on the same page. If you look at this one, they have been known any time they catch, could be a snail, or they're digging something in that possibly could have been an elephant dung. I'm sure we get so many insects in elephant's dung, some live ones, some dead ones, possibly beetles. They've been known to catch the prey, toss it in the air, and then swallow it. Rose, that red, what you see there, it's very leathery. One time I saw one that was being put or stuffed or mummified in a museum in Nairobi, and I was very lucky to touch it. It's very leathery. Apparently, you'll be surprised, Rose. It is very hard. It's not soft. And I would imagine maybe the males could use it should they have small little altercations amongst themselves, but also they're always in the grass, so they need some little hard water to deal with the sticks, to deal with the grass as they keep feeding. Otherwise, it will get very easily bruised and maybe bleed. But I've always seen them digging through the grass, whatever they're catching, with a lot of ease. See that? Catch whatever, toss it in the air. Now, unlike we human beings or other animals that will, facilitate what is the mouth through the esophagus, I think it could be difficult. Not sure it's for all the birds or these particular ones. Either they have to throw it in the air open the mouth and straight to the esophagus. I don't know why they do that, but that's the only way I can think. They may not be able to slowly push it through down to the crop or down to their stomachs. In flight, we'll always see some white windows or white feathers while in flight, just like we see in the long-crested eagles. There are parts of Africa, when I was talking about the status of these hornbills, where we got some artificial nests that are being made for them to breed. I mean, nobody would want to see the extinction of this particular bird species in whichever part of Africa they are in. But luckily, I would say in Kenya, so far, so good. In general, they lay 2 eggs, and they'll have a gap between the laying, and you'll get the older egg killing, excuse me, killing the younger one. Just trying to reach out to some book here. Excuse my chaos there. Do you have these hornbills in the UK, Shiv?
No hornbills in the UK.
What hornbills do you have?
Don't have any.
None.
No.
What could be close to this?
Oh, I don't know. With a big, yeah.
Big what?
Don't know. Trying to think.
Nothing, eh?
With a big bill like that, no.
Yeah, and I like how they use the bills, just like spears. There's a particular book I've been trying to use that I wanted to show Puma something. I'm not sure I can get it, but if I will do, I'll be happy to do that. Puma, don't go very far because I'll do what I promised. I'm not sure what Sean is doing outside the vehicle.
Well, David, what are we up to? Well, we're at the dangerous end of the drive. That's what we're up to. So we turned around and I picked up tracks of one of the males. Now, there's been some vehicles that have driven over it, but I've kind of worked out that he cut across the block here and has moved into there. So the plan now is to head into the block, and I'm going to try and see whether I can find these lions. Now, when you're doing this on foot, there's certain things that you need to bear in mind, because you don't want to, first of all, you don't want to upset the animals for obvious reasons, and secondly, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're going to upset the animal. That's the main thing. So if you have a look up there, I'm going to follow this game path here. I'm going to do that because I've never walked this block before. And it gives me a point of reference to get to and from Impol. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing I'm going to do is you'll see all the trees, and I'm going to move essentially from tree to tree. Now, if the sun was out, I would be moving into the sun. And the reason being is because if it was a hot day, the animals would be lying in the shade, and you don't want to walk on the sunny side of the tree, even though the sun will be on your shoulder. You don't want to walk on the sunny side of the tree, because if the animal's on the opposite side of the tree in the shade, you've got less chance of seeing it and walking up onto it if they're having a sleep. Because as you guys have seen before, if a male lion's just eaten or is having a snooze, you can walk right up to them while they're sleeping. So there's a couple of things we're doing. So even though the sun is not out, I still would be walking in this direction, but the wind is not with me. So Pam, yes, thank you very much, Traffic Cop Sean. Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. So Traffic Cop, what's name is out. I'll do my best to direct traffic, hopefully to the lions themselves. But I will be careful, and I'll obviously make sure that that we are safe and sorted. And like I said, I move around very, very slowly. And the point is to basically go up, cut across, and then come back and almost make a grid. I'm listening out for growls, I'm looking out for any tail movement, I'm looking up for any heads rolling up like that, I'm listening out for any birds, so I'm really listening to what's going on. The only thing against me currently is the fact that the wind is actually blowing towards, if the lions are on this block, towards them. So basically dinner is served, but I will be careful, I promise you, and hopefully the next time you come back to me, I'll have some answers on what is happening with these lions, and they are peacefully chilling inside the block, and yeah, it's a game, but let's try and see it. So I'll come back to you guys and let you know what is happening. Don't worry too much. I'll be absolutely fine. We're going to send you back to David.
The southern ground hornbills have disappeared in the grass somewhere, but I have my book and will be happy to show you what I think it was Puma who was asking whether I've ever seen the Abyssinian ground hornbill, and happy to show her. Now this is what you were watching before. I hope you're right there, Shiva. And this is the southern ground hornbill. It was a lot easier Puma to see it, and I hope that was Puma Nadine, the viewer who was asking me about the Abyssinian ground hornbill. I hope I'm right. And this is what we just saw. This one, you see them in many parts of this country, and more so in Tanzania. And I gather it was Puma. Puma, sorry for the delay, I should have done this a little bit earlier, but this is a brand new book I just got 2 days ago. Anyhow, I was getting the index. Now, you asked me whether I have ever seen an Abyssinian ground hornbill. I have seen a few, but not in Kenya, in a country called Uganda. I've gathered northwest of Kenya. This is where you'd see them. And personally, I've been there not many times. I haven't seen them. And unlike, say, if we go back there, Shiv, sorry to bring you up and down, you can see this is the male of the southern ground hornbill, and this is the female of the southern ground hornbill. And you remember the purple or the blue violet I was talking about here. But if we go to the Abyssinian ground hornbill Puma, there's a huge difference between the male and the female. The purple that we see in the southern ground hornbill, do you think this is purple, Shiv? Yeah, purplish. For the female, it's quite conspicuous and almost no red wattle like we would see in both the male and the female of the southern ground hornbill. But if you go to the male, apparently also the male will have a bit of purple right there, and just like the female, but of course will have the red, and that's what makes them apart. They are quite distinct when we talk of their sexual dimorphism, unlike the southern ground hornbill. But apparently, Puma, they got a small little crest here, like the trumpeters right there and right there, which is not very conspicuous if we go back to the southern ground hornbills. I would want to believe if these have been listed in the IUCN, as quite endangered on Appendix 1, I would want to believe even the Abyssinian, ground hornbills could be in the same category. I love the Abyssinian ground hornbills. They are quite appealing, and because my actual true southern ground hornbills have disappeared, I will also have to disappear. And as I disappear, what we'll do now, we'll take you to Kafui, and we are going to do some birding in Kafui and watch some elephants.
Good morning, my name is Quinten Smit, owner, manager and guide at Kasabushi Camp in the Kafui National Park. So thanks for joining us on this drive and let's see what we can find. So just here to the left of us, you see a small little common duiker. The name kind of gives it away. It's the most common duiker that we've got in this area. So here all around us we've got a bunch of helmeted guinea fowl, in South Africa well known as the tarantale. But if you look around us you kind of see them all running in different directions, and what you quite often see is one running in one direction, turning around, running back the other way, which to me quite entertaining because the collective name of a group of guinea fowl is actually a confusion of guinea fowl. And if you've lived in the bush for a while, you learn very quickly they're always confused. Possibly 4 southern ground hornbills, the largest of the hornbills. Quite efficient, ferocious hunters. Here in Zambia they often compare them to judges because the way they walk to the guides it kind of looks like it's a judge pacing up and down in his courtroom. So we just stopped here just for a little bit of a rest. We've got this nice granite formations over here with some little rapids behind us. That's the noise you're hearing in the background. And we just found a large crocodile over here, well, relatively large. I would estimate him at around 3.5 meters. Find a calm place like that and you can sit like that idle for quite a while, just waiting in ambush. If something moves, he'll go just a few centimeters under the water. He's in his prime area, shoot out, grab it, pull it back in. So we've got 2 main baboon types around here. Main one is the yellow baboon, and then we actually have a subspecies, which, if I am correct, if the yellow baboon and the chakma baboon, which is the larger baboon you find further down south, if they reproduce, you get the kinder baboon. Now the yellow baboon and the kinder baboon look extremely similar, yellow baboon being slightly more yellowish in color, but the kinder baboon, if there's babies in between them, that's how you can clearly identify them, because the babies are white. Here in this case you actually see a couple of babies in between them, so not albino looking, so it's quite easy to determine that these are then the yellow baboons. You might think from a distance very difficult to determine whether an elephant is a male or a female, but the head tells you quite a bit already. If you look at the head from the side, the female will really, let's see if I can kind of do it with my hand, female will really have an angle, while the male's head is more rounded from the top where it goes down into the trunk. So you can tell that these are a couple of bulls over there. Also, if you look at them from the front, because the male's tusks is much wider, especially where it meets the lip, it kind of turns the head into a bit of an hourglass shape if you look at it front on. And so it is actually very possible from a distance to determine the different sexes of the elephants. These look to be in pretty good shape, quite big tuskers as well. So here we have a nice mix of two similar predators, yet they couldn't be further apart from each other. In the little water hole, we've got the African fish eagle. Looks like standing in the water, standing still. The fish eagles would hunt by swooping down, grabbing fish out of the water. And just next to it, on the top of a little long, what looks like a twig, is a pied kingfisher. Also eats fish, completely different. It's one of the kingfishers is actually able to hover above the water, and if it spots something, dive bombs into the water to grab it. And actually at the moment it looks like the lapwings there have identified the fish eagle, having a little small trat go at it. I feel like lapwings don't like anything. Here comes some more pied kingfishers. And there you go, you have the actual hovering. Thanks for joining, and till next time.
Well, from some birding up in that part of the world to birding down here. I'm pretty sure this is the cause for the guinea fowls being so upset around the camp earlier. It's a martial eagle. I know it's very far away and you can't really see easily, but there's that white chest, that dark head and that big crest that's being blown up by the wind. And these guys are big guinea fowl hunters, and so if they are flying about or around, the guineas typically are very upset with life and they don't like it at all. So it solves that mystery. Sorry about that, everyone. Guys don't talk for ages and then they talk and it's loud. And anyway, but it's nice to see martial eagles. They're not a bird that we see all the time. And generally when we've got one in an area, they tend to stick around quite a bit. It would be nice to know if there's any breeding pairs. There used to be a breeding pair to the west of us, on a property very close to where Sylvan Camp is. There was two there that bred, and they had a chick three times that I saw. The one chick in particular was very cool. It became super chilled with the vehicles, and you could sometimes find it sort of these branches right low to the ground, and it would just sit there. You could drive pretty close to it, and it was amazing because you could then guess the size of the talons, that big heavy beak that they've got. Pretty incredible birds, these guys. It was very, very cool to see, and court used to catch all kinds of things, so it was fun to go and sit there near the nest, and you would find all kinds of animals being brought back, from guinea fowls to monitor lizards, snakes, and the odd mammal would come too, genets sometimes, weirdly, I saw once, scrub hares, steenbok, duiker, so lots of different species. And there it goes. You can see those massive wings as it flies off, even without seeing any coloration. Just that broad massive wing shape would tell you that that's what it is. Well done, Bibo. And landed nicely with the sun behind it. Piestia, it is a beautiful raptor. They're one of my favorites. And like I say, that silhouette right there is just typical martial eagle. That big heavy set head with that crest gives it away even from the silhouette. Pretty though, isn't it? I think we're going to have pretty clouds this afternoon because there's a bit of sun that's somehow creeping in here and lighting up some of these clouds that have blown in with this front. And so it actually is quite beautiful, and hopefully that will not be the only silhouette we end up getting in a tree this afternoon. That would be quite nice if we find something slightly bigger, also with spots. And these guys are spotty, so can't say something with spots, but it'd be nice to find that too. But I don't know where this leopard went from this morning. It must have just got an absolute fright that it chased a waterbuck and then ran straight into people on a drink stop. and then just disappeared from there. There's no tracks to indicate it came out of that area, but that area is so small that I can't see where it is. I walked through there a little bit just now, didn't find any sign of anything. The only thing that my gut tells me is that it ran across the dam wall on the concrete here and into this gully behind the wall. Kimberly, their nests are pretty large, pretty similar to, I don't know if you've ever seen a vulture nest. I'm not sure if I'm sure we've put them on the show, vulture nests. In fact, there's one in the Mulawati, so I can try and show you if we head in that direction. But it's about the same size as that. So what would that be? Probably, if I have to think about this in feet, it would probably be like 3 foot in diameter. No, maybe not as big as that. Yeah, maybe actually. About 2.5 to 3 foot in diameter. And then quite deep, obviously, to support the weight of these birds on it, plus their offspring. So yeah, fairly sizable nests. They're typically in big, tall, mature trees like jackalberries. All the nests that I've seen have been in scotias, jackalberries, Natal mahoganies, those kind of trees. I've never really seen an amarula tree, weirdly enough. I guess they just don't like them because they lose their leaves. And remember, most predatory birds are breeding now. So vultures, these big birds of prey, they've already laid eggs now and are incubating. And they start as early as May, a lot of them. And then because they have such a long period of raising those chicks, things like this, and vultures are 160, 180 days. It's a long time to raise those chicks. All right, we shall leave our martial eagle, and in the meantime, let's send you off to Sean. Sounds like he's also been doing some tracking. Maybe he's had some more luck than what I have.
All right, so guys, back on the vehicle. And essentially what I've picked up is there was a male and female, and they walked a little bit, they lay down by a termite mound, and then this was like mid-morning-ish. The wind is blowing, so it's a bit difficult to tell, but the male got up and he ran, and he's running like a westerly direction. So I'm going to go do the roads to the west of us, and go and see. It was only one set of tracks. I think it's the track that came into the block, but he bolted and he disappeared. So I'm going to try and see if I can find him on that side over there. But at least we're not now stuck in this area. At least we've got some kind of direction, and that's why it's always good to go on foot and try and see what is actually happening. And yeah, hopefully we can pick them up. I've got the bug this afternoon. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. So I really want to try to find these lions for you. These lions have a habit when the weather turns like this. They generally will find something to kill, and they do it in a block. Lola, yeah, hopefully we find it. So I'm going to turn onto this road here, and we might find his tracks headed over here. But it's always fun to I love tracking on foot. I get so excited. The hairs on my arms stand up, and because you never know whether you're going to see a head pop up or a bird call, or you're going to hear that low. So lions normally, when they see you, they emit this like very low kind of growl, and you know that that's your first warning, and then you kind of need to back off, get some cover, and then watch to see whether you can find that lion. Otherwise you just pull out of the entire area. So oh man, it's always exciting. Even if you don't find them, it is always exciting. Now here is a game path. Do you see anything, Mpo, on this path here? Because what happens with lions, especially big male lions, is because they're so big, and you know these Sandringham guys are huge, often if they're moving away from something, they go with the path of least resistance. So they'll either go on the road or they'll go on a game path. So while we're driving around now, we'll look on the game paths as well. to try and see whether we can find his tracks moving. And I mean, anything could have chased him. He could have heard other lions and run. I mean, anything could have happened, really. The female, I don't know where she went. I couldn't see her tracks in the chaos of his tracks scrambling. I don't know whether they maybe made a kill, although there's no vultures around here. So it's like an episode of Bold and the Beautiful, or Igoli. Let's say Igoli, rather. I think that's better. Seven de Laan, I think. You never quite know what's going to happen, and some characters return triumphantly after a few seasons. We'll see how it goes. But it is fun and games out here, and I absolutely love it. So Nadine's saying to me, let's rather do Sandringham, Seven de Laan, because there's always drama in Sandringham, which is always true. We're always looking for the leopards, and we've always got the impala that don't want to come on camera. There's always something happening out here, so I think Seven de Laan would be a goodie, and it's a South African classic, so we'll leave it at that. All right, guys. Well, listen, I think I'm going to just check the map. I'm going to just consult the map here because I want to make sure that I do the right thing and go in the direction of those things, even though he could have turned, obviously. Okay. I'm going to go up, I think, and then I'm going to do a little...
I'm Butch James, World Cup winning Springbok fly half. Rugby has taken me to many incredible places around the world, but it's Africa's wild places where I feel most at home. This July and August, after the Springbok tests against England, Wales and the All Blacks, join me on a series of luxury safaris. There we'll share some rugby stories, open fires and some incredible wildlife sightings, all under the African skies. See you in the bush.
Morning, you two. Hello.
Would you like to know the difference between a male and female wildebeest? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on SafariLIVE and connect with nature.
They're all by themselves, and you can see she's looking around. Happy Steve, happy team.
Very happy.
Yeah.
And slowly making his way towards us.
That's it, Dad.
That's it.
Every now and then a zebra will go astray and will lose their herds. But you know, when they're in such a small group like this, very rarely will they stray away from each other because it's so dangerous for them. the best thing for them to do is to stick together. By sticking together, multiple eyes can see when predators are approaching from all different directions. But if they do, say hypothetically one gets separated, it will call, and if the rest of the herd isn't too far away, some of the herd members might call back, especially in the case of like a foal going missing. Mom will recognize the call of her foal and will kind of call it back. And they'll kind of communicate with each other as they get closer and closer. Otherwise, if it's too far away, unfortunately, that individual will then be alone for however long it takes to find the herd. And if it can't find the herd, unfortunately, well, then it's in a very vulnerable state. Not to say that it will get munched by a predator. Maybe it might join another herd, but generally the stallions, they try and keep all the females together, and usually when threatened, the stallions are the ones to place themselves in front, in between the herd and whatever danger it is. So usually, unfortunately, the males are the ones that get killed by lions, because they are trying to help protect their harem. But it's not always the case. It's not always the case. Often females are also caught as well. It was very cool. Very nice to see them. They all the females scattered and kind of ran into the bush, but now they're all slowly starting to come back, which is quite nice. Very pretty. This male is huge. Oh, desert rose, when they want to be, they can be very, very photogenic, and it's what makes zebra so sought after. They're very, very pretty, and very, very photogenic, especially when they look at you like this one on the right hand side. But also sometimes the way that they stand is also almost like a statue. And I think it's obviously because they are part of the equine family. That's also, I think, the appeal to people as well, as they're very, very, very similar to horses. They're usually found in the open plains. That's where they get the name plains zebra. And these ones don't seem to be out in the open. These ones are in amongst the bush willows and the rather tall, skinny sweet thorns. Right, Janine, I think I could also... No, I don't think I have 1,000 photos of zebras, but I have plenty. I have plenty of photos of zebra. I think one of my favorite pictures of zebra to take or favorite scenes to have zebras is basically when they're drinking water. But when that water is nice and still and there's multiple of them and they're all standing right next to each other, all bending down, and you get that beautiful reflection of the water, but then you also get all the different mouths, and when they're all sort of at the same length, very, very pretty. And something funny I remember seeing down at Amakala is zebras actually going into the water. So they won't be able to do it now at that particular pan because it's overflowing, and it's not a shallow pan, it's a very, very deep pan. Like if the elephants went in there, they'll be able to swim in it. They wouldn't be able to touch the bottom if they went to the center. But beginning of last year or mid last year, it was quite muddy, and watching the zebras kind of walking to the middle to access the water, they had to go through this kind of little swampy sort of marshy, muddy circle. And all of them had these beautiful brown, well not brown, what was brown, brownish, dark brown, sort of black socks from the mud. Oh, there's one that's a little too shy, don't want to come out. He wants to stay in there. And looking at something else there, and it looks like an impala. There's also decided that it's going to hang out with these zebra. And the very cool thing is, you know, these animals, when they are threatened, they all know each other's alarm calls, and so they will obviously alarm call when they see something. If the impala sees something, it's going to alarm call. If the zebra sees something, it's going to alarm call, or they're going to alarm call. And it's like a universal language for these animals. If they shout, "Oh, lion," and everyone knows there's a lion. But I mean, at this point, I think they just know whatever it is a threat. So they look in that direction to see what threat it could be, and whether they need to run away from it or not. But we're going to send you to David, who has an animal that would absolutely snack on a zebra.
And Eric, you are very right, because these lions here, the night before last, brought down a zebra, and they finished on it yesterday morning. Is that right, Shiv?
Yes, sir.
So this is the Marsh Pride, and the night before last, as I said, they brought down a zebra. We never saw it, but yesterday morning we caught up with them when they were finishing on that particular carcass. I got 3 females of the Marsh Pride, got a few vehicles from Governor's Camp, one of the most iconic and beautiful camps of the very many camps in the Masai Mara. And in the background there, Shiv is showing you another female and one of the T-boys. I can't see him very well, but I'm sure at one point I'll go a little close to him, and I'm trying to imagine this is Jojo. I am not sure, but I'll be telling you who this is. Sometimes in February this year, we had a wonderful safari here in the Masai Mara that we did, myself and James Henry. And we had guests from all over the world. We had, I think, 4 girls. I think it was more girls than boys. I think there was only one boy. I'm not sure his name was Kevin, from the US. And there were 2 girls from the US. One called Chris, I'm trying to remember their name. There's another one called Ali. And then there was another girl called Mama Tembo from Manchester. And we had another girl called Kerstin from Norway. Yes, I am from Norway. Her name was Kerstin. And we did a wonderful safari here. They loved it. And we finished the safari with a bush dinner, and it was wonderful. The stories we shared around the campfire, you have no idea. I mean, what I'm trying to say, in other words, after the drive today, please do visit our website and go to World Earth Travel, and you'll see the safaris that we customize, the safaris that we make, and you'll be surprised what we have to offer for you. And all those safaris there, I mean, there are itineraries there, but you can always customize your own safaris, and you can travel as an individual, you can travel as a couple, friends, and we'll give you nothing but the best from Africa. You have a choice of myself, James Henry, Tristan, Cedric, Eric, all those great guides. You have a choice to say, this is the person I want to take me and show me Africa. Sounds good, Shiv?
Sounds excellent.
Shiv apparently last in November, she went to meet the leopards in South Africa last year. She enjoyed it.
Very much.
And the only one thing she never saw was a cheetah. And I told her, if you want to see cheetahs, come to Kenya. And she didn't know what I was talking about. For leopards, go to South Africa. But again, every part of Africa will have a different animals to offer. Now, let us look at this boy carefully. And maybe from your screenshots, tell me whether this is Jojo or not. He's majestically walking towards the females. He's very good looking, sitting down, a bit of a stretch there. Look at how he blends in the golden grass there. I'm talking about the red oat grass. What did you get there? I mean, the kill was done yesterday. We've seen once in a while lions feeding on grass. If they want to throw up, I'm not sure that's exactly what Jojo is doing. Now, this morning I shared some interesting news with all of you that one of the females from the Marsh Pride called Lola could be denning, and I got some intel saying that Lola got 3 bundles of joy. I don't know how true that is, but I would want to believe that info. I think it came from one of the viewers called Itzy, and if that's the case, hoo la la. But I left going to the village last month, and by the time I was leaving, all the 3 boys were together, and they were devouring a buffalo. Zuri was one among them. I went home to the village, had a break, and I didn't come back until Monday part. So, Shiv, do you know what we're talking about when we talk of Zuri? Or that sounds like a foreign language for you?
No. Zuri's one of the males, right?
Yes. So, have you seen him since you got here?
Yes.
When was that?
Oh, it's the second week with Tim.
How was he doing?
Very well.
Well, Pat, I'm just gathering from Shiv back there that she's been here. She have seen Zuri once, and I'm sure you might have overheard her saying that Zuri is doing pretty well, and I want to believe he is doing well. So keep staying with us. I do not know who also is here, because I'm trying to imagine from a distance I can see another male. Not sure what male is, and Sinkat is exciting. Not sure whether Tristan got rosettes or lions like me. Let us find out.
Well, it's not just one cat, it's many cats. As you'll soon see, the whole Nkuhuma Pride has crossed into Little Gowrie, so they've walked as we thought they might do during the course of today, and they've rejoined with some of the cubs, not all of them. Those ones that we saw right in the beginning of drive haven't joined, I don't think. So at the moment I can only see 5 cubs that are currently here. I think the other 5 are still in the Mulawati, because we're quite far west of that at the moment, and I don't think these guys have called just yet to bring the rest in. So for now it's just the girls and 5, and then the 2 boys, the Zengas, are also here, but not with the Pride itself. They're lying like 150 meters away, so we'll go and have a little look at them just now. But for now it is time to sleep. I'm sure that they have been moving most of the day, this lot. The weather was primed for them to start coming back towards the cubs, so I'm not surprised that they are here now and have moved into this area. You can see the 2 little ones are having a proper suckle though. They came together, what are we now? Maybe about 15 minutes ago, so they'll still need to feed. Tando, they didn't leave some of the cubs and keep some with them. What would have happened is they would have dropped the cubs off and gone off hunting, and some of the cubs would have moved on their own accord because of the weather. I'm sure with the rain some of them just went down into the riverbed. It's more comfortable, and then the others maybe just stayed where they were originally left. And so when the females came back to where they originally left them, and they found then just the 5 of them here. The other 5 are not far, like I say, they probably, in terms of walking distance, maybe not even 5 minutes for an adult lioness to walk. So, it's not that far away. It's just that the cubs themselves would have split during the course of today. So some would have gone and lay on one side of the road and others went on the other side of the road, and then, you know, that's how the females have kind of picked up some of them and not the others. But they'll get them all. It's, like I said, it's really close and not far apart. It's, if it was like 4 or 5 kilometers away, it would be a bit of a different story, but they're close enough that they'll pick them up. I also don't see all the adult females. No, they all are here. Sorry, there's all 7. I thought that there was only 6, but there is 7 of them. So you might find just now one of the mothers of the cubs that are not here gets up and goes and calls, and those cubs will then come running to the side to come and join up. And if they don't hear the calling, then she'll just make it louder and louder until she does find them. Cute though, isn't it? To have them all lying down and curled up. They seem like they've got a little bit of a belly on them compared to when we saw them the other day. Particularly this lioness on the left and the one behind her. Those tummies at least look like there's some food in there, so I wonder if they just didn't get something last night and have managed to digest and have a good feed, and then now they're going to just sleep away that evening. I don't think they're going to move too far tonight, unless this weather drives him to. Kim, it does. I mean, look, obviously there's some of the cubs are starting to look a little bit lanky. They go through this weird phase, both lion and leopard cubs, when they get to about 4 or 5 months old, all the way until they're about 8 months old. It's like this weird, lanky, skinny phase, and then they fall back out. But the lionesses are all looking really good. They do have a couple wounds here and there, which is to be expected. They are a big pride, and so when they're on a kill, there's a lot of squabbling that takes place, and when the 2 males are with them, they obviously fight and try and take the food as much as possible, and so they get nicked and cut every now and then just from internal fighting. So you'll find the odd little wound, but otherwise looking really good. Nice and strong and muscular. One of the better looking prides out there, that's for sure. But you can see the wind is gusting a little bit, so every time it gusts, then one of them will kind of like pick up its nose and just smell. What I did see on the way here was tracks for a few giraffe, and we know that the other day there was some giraffe around and they chased them, so I wouldn't be surprised if they pick up that scent, that they go in that direction. A lot of mouths to be feeding, although they've got the 2 boys with them, which is going to make life a bit tricky. You know, they eat a lot and tend to push them off a little bit. See, there's a bit of yawning going on. Maybe they're going to go fetch the other cubs. Let's see. It's cute, eh? Sorry guys, you're going to have to reposition. See, they're starting to look like they're waking up a little bit, don't they? A little cuddle for that cub. Oh, isn't that cute? Oh. It just sounds like there's lion cubs all over the place. Alright, well, we'll see whether this pride gets up. There is quite a number of vehicles that want to come to the sighting, so we're not going to be able to spend too long, and we'll try and get a view of the Nzengas too, although there comes one now actually walking through the bush to the right. He's on his way down to come join us. Alright, while we wait for him to come and join, it looks like he's actually going to lie down there. Let's send you across to David with his lion cubs. Oh no, you're going to stay with us. Sorry. It's all the Nzenga's fault, Nadine, don't worry. So Nadine was like, go to the lion cubs, and then Nzenga stood up, and so you're still with us, everybody. Sorry about that. So what happens sometimes out here is animals start moving and things change, and we end up to do things differently. But you can see when they start grooming like this and they start sort of yawning, it's a good indication that they're going to move. There is some water just down below us here at Baboon Pan, so I wouldn't be surprised they go down there and have a little drink of water before they get going and kind of fetch the others. The other cubs from there would be very, very close. A little contact call will get them to reunite, which would be quite nice to see. Oh, big stretches. So many stretches. Nadine's saying that lots of stretching going on. Indeed, there is. It seems like the Nzeng has also laid down and gone flat. I'll, like I said, reposition just now and we'll try and get a bit of a better view of them. But for now they are stationary. It's quite interesting. They most of the time kind of don't mind the cubs, but when cubs are around, most males will lie like this, just a little bit away from the pride. They just don't really like all of the attention that the cubs can bring when it comes to sleeping. If they're moving, then they typically are quite close, but when they are stationary, then the males tend to move around quite a bit. Always love watching the cubs. They watch all the vehicles come and go. Must be quite entertaining for them. I wonder what they think about it. I wonder why these things come, look at us, and then move away. There are some big curious eyes. You're right, Nadine. As I said, it would be fascinating to be able to imagine if you could talk to animals and understand what they think and what they feel when you are around them. It'd be very, very... we don't probably want to know, actually. It's probably not something that we would enjoy. These females are bonding now. You can see how the suckle marks are starting to fade a little bit on some of the lionesses. And their offspring are not getting as much milk, and so those bits of hair are starting to grow back again now. Now you notice that females are all of a sudden kind of perked up. Some oxpeckers that are flying over us, and so oxpeckers are always a good sign of potential prey species. All right, this time for real, you are going to go across to David and see what his cubs are up to.
Earlier on the split, we were showing you one of Kaleo's cubs. And Kaleo's cubs, now the two of them, the two sons, about 9 months old. Yesterday, during the drive, my Siouxan chief bumped into a huge herd of buffaloes, for those of you who can remember. And they had a bit of an altercation between them. And this particular lions here, we are talking about the Marsh Pride and one boy, Jojo. In the midst of the buffaloes, we saw one very, very tiny, small buffalo calf that was almost on her own, was going meow, moo. And I hope you can all hear that. And that particular calf was with some males and not females. There was no one cow near that calf, and that cow looked, she was brand new. She was barely an hour or two since she was born, and we couldn't see the mother. We couldn't see any female with any signs of giving birth or any afterbirth. And at one point we saw that calf going towards a particular vehicle, then the same calf was coming towards us, and we had, just to leave that particular place. We did not even have it on air. And me and Shiv agreed possibly the mother might have rejected this calf, and we do not see it making it to, another day. And apparently this is the calf that's being eaten here now. We got here, we saw Jojo, we saw the other females, we saw Kelly with her cubs, but then we saw the calf dead from a distance, and we wondered, how come nobody is interested in going for that calf? They had not seen it until 8 or 9 minutes ago.
I'm Butch James, World Cup winning Springbok fly half. Rugby has taken me to many incredible places around the world, but it's Africa's wild places where I feel most at home. This July and August, after the Springbok tests against England, Wales and the All Blacks, join me on a series of luxury safaris. There we'll share some rugby stories, open fires and some incredible wildlife sightings, all under the African skies. See you in the bush. I'm Butch James, World Cup winning Springbok fly half. Rugby has taken me to many incredible places around the world, but it's Africa's wild places where I feel most at home. This July and August, after the Springbok tests against England, Wales and the All Blacks, join me on a series of luxury safaris. There we'll share some rugby stories, open fires and some incredible wildlife sightings, all under the African skies. See you in the bush.
One only wonders what they got up to last night.
Blind cub this morning. It's all happening, eh?
These females have got their paws full, and you can just see.
Hello, good morning.
And the boy feeding now. And Nadine, you'll tell me from the screenshots from the viewers whether this is the beautiful and the handsome looking Zuri. My guess is I would have expected Jojo to be feeding. Jojo is a little bit bigger in size than all the other 6 T-boys. But instead, I'm seeing this different boy here feeding on this particular carcass. Very sad. I mean, we knew, and we said with Shiv yesterday, she was on camera, I don't think she is, is got that calf is going to make it. Benelli, Shem, and if anybody, how are you feeling, Shiva, may I ask you? You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Benelli, it's Shem and it's pretty sad, but again, not once we say this is the cycle of life, because the very first time we bumped into that particular calf, yesterday morning, she was like lost. Not sure if she was blind or not. I think she was okay. And she moved towards the vehicle, stuck next to that vehicle, and the driver of that vehicle did not know what to do. Either to move away or just, to push the particular calf out. And at one point, luckily, the calf went away. Well, I'll spend a few... You can hear this particular T-boy is not ready to share this male. Let's find out what Tristan's males are up to.
Well, he did have his head up. I think he's got something up his nose because he was sneezing a little bit. But seems all is sorted now and he's back to sleeping. Boys are tired today. This is the bigger of the two, and the other one is at the back there. He's extremely well camouflaged. You can hardly see him, but I promise you that there is a male lion. And you've gone the wrong way, Bebo. That's how well camouflaged he is. Again, you can just see his back there. You won't see really much of a mane, but I promise you that is a male lion. You'll see that the stomach is rising and falling, but the rate of breathing is very, very slow this afternoon because of how cool it is. And so the boys are just, taking it extremely easy. And if you ever wondered how well a male lion can camouflage even with the mane, that is a good way to show you. It was a little bit easier just now when his head was slightly up a bit more because you could kind of just see the mane poking out. But that camouflage is pretty ridiculous in real life as well as on the camera. These boys have done well. I'm quite impressed with the fact that they have managed to just keep most males at bay for now. I think it's just because they're so proactive about territory. I don't think I've ever heard lions roar as much as these guys do, as well as all day long. You'll find them, especially the guy at the back, he likes to roar even middle of the day sometimes. So they are very, very proactive about defending territory, and that's probably why they've been so successful over the years. Everywhere that they've gone, they've done well, even before there was just the two of them, and there was multiple members. They dominated the Southern Sands, they dominated Mala Mala for a long time, and then Londolozi, and then now up here as well. And then it is nice to spend some time with the Nzenga boys and the Nkuhumas. They're not quite together, sadly, so it's hard to be able to get both at the same time. And we're kind of allowing a third vehicle to sit with the males so that we're not stressing the cubs, because the cubs only a 2-vehicle sighting. So we just hope that they'll eventually come together and it will all work itself out, and we end up with a nice sort of sighting towards the end of all of them moving. It would be nice if they would go down to the water and drink and we get a big lineup of the whole family. That would be ideal. The chances of that is probably quite slim given the current look of these guys. They don't look as though they want to wake up anytime soon. And generally when they're with the pride, it takes much longer for them to wake up. When the pride's not around, then they tend to be a little bit more active. Alright, well, let's just be patient and see what they get up to. In the meantime, let's send you back up to David with more lions.
Well, I need to correct myself because I couldn't see this particular boy very well, but now I have better views of him. And above all, we all know you'll never go wrong with one particular T-boy. That is the only T-boy that I would say she won't come with me that can identify 100%, and I'm sure you all know what I am talking about. It is my favorite boy, Moja Moja. Not sure why I thought he was looking like Zuri, but I think because of Pat having asked me about Zuri, then I thought, possibly this is Zuri. But here we got Moja Moja and Jojo. The one feeding, not sure why he has gotten this very high status that he is feeding alone, and Jojo cannot come anywhere close, not even Enkrai, not even Nusurika, or even Kaleo, who got the cubs, because, I mean, I've always found out of experience, they'll always respect the feeding mothers to come close to the carcass. But as it is, you only got Nana, that was Kaleo moving there. We got a Moja feeding on this particular poor buffalo calf that possibly, I think, died last night. We were with the calf yesterday in the morning. She was alive, but like nobody seemed to care for her. Why the mother might have rejected her, I have no idea. That's Kito moving there. Remember, I gave you the good news of one of the marsh girls by the name of Lola. Got 3 cubs. We are yet to see them. I'm not in a rush to go see them. I might wait for another 10 days or so to make sure they're out of the den and they're walking and they're, as these particular lionesses are doing their final stretches before looking for a place to go spend the night. I'm not sure it was Tristan who was saying, if we could only talk to these animals, and especially the lions, and be able to understand them, it would be super special. Because we got 2 males. One is feeding, that's Moja Moja, and Jojo is just there and wondering, what could I be doing? And, it's like, I'm a boy, there's only one other boy here, the other girls. Why would I, go share the meal with the other boy? But Jojo knows so well. A fight for the carcass could be a bit, injurious to either of them. They claw each other, they'll bite each other. Listen to Moja Moja now. And the message is clear to Jojo from Moja Moja. Don't get anywhere closer to the dining table. And Jojo is very clever. That's not what he wants to do. He knows he got fatherly responsibilities to do. He got a job to take care of Kaleo's cubs. He got a job to protect this particular marsh pride. So it's rather easier not to get harmed. And if he is not hungry, he knows tomorrow will be another day. Moja Moja, you're my favorite boy, but I'm not very happy when you're not sharing what you did not bring down yourself. And should this be, graphic to anybody, there's nothing to worry. It's the cycle of life. Moja Moja did not kill this calf. This calf died of natural causes. Bless you, Moja Moja. And they found it dead. And this is the only way they will clean Mother Nature or our office right here. Initially, I had gotten an intel there were 3 males here. I got 2, not sure who the third one is or where he could be. Let's go back to Tristan's lions.
Well, as you can see, eyes are open, and he is starting to wake up a little bit because the girls are all starting to move away now. So most of them have left already. There's just 1 or 2. But we'll see now what ends up happening with him. He's not that awake yet. No, he's going to flop down. You're quite full, buddy. What did you eat? Girls must have fed him last night. But you might have seen just now he had his tongue out. He was blapping. And for those of you that don't know what that means, is when a cat has its tongue out, it's called a blap. I have no idea why they do it, but there's various individuals that do. Hukamuri used to do it all the time. Marips, lions do it every now and then. But yeah, it makes them look a little bit simple, if that's the right way to put it. But sadly, the boys don't look like they are interested in following the girls. We're not going to follow the girls because there's a couple cars that want to see them, and it's getting dark. So they're going to be a closed lock for now, so we'll just stay with the boys. I think maybe we can... we'll just stay with the boys. Like I said, it's starting to get a bit dark now, so we'll let the girls go do their thing. You can see he's not even waking up for the cars starting, which is not a good sign. I was hoping that with the girls moving off, because he was watching them, that he would decide to get up and go. But sadly, I think with these full tummies, they've decided to sleep. Oh, there we go. Here's a bit of yawning on that side. Hopefully he decides to wake up and move here and then trigger this one to get up and we get both of them going. That would be ideal. He's the roaring one, so a roar from him would be epic because it'll trigger him to go, and then we'll even get the females roaring a little bit too. Normally when the boys do it, then the girls join in. If they don't roar the males, then the females will stay pretty silent through the night. But you can see they've lived a life, these boys. Lots and lots of scars all over the faces. Right, while our males are slowly waking up, it sounds like David has got another male on approach, so let's send you back up to the Mara.
Well, you remember I was talking of 3 males, and the third one is showing up majestically coming towards where we have Jojo, where we have Moja feeding, where we have the cubs in Kaleo. I cannot tell very well, but my guess is look at how they're going to greet him. Hello. We love you. We missed you. My first guess, this is Okingo. I'll give you a second guess, but for now, let us hold on Okingo. And you'll be having Okingo, Jojo, and Moja. How lovely. Isn't this cool? Okingo is equally a clever boy. Not once I have called him the commander, but let us look what will happen now. Jojo is getting a bit naughty here. I'm not sure what he is up to. And again, as I said, Okingo just landed near the table. He took his position away from the dining table, and he doesn't want many issues with Moja. So that is Jojo grimacing there. Not sure whether that girl is in season, but as far as I'm concerned, all the girls of the marsh spread are pregnant. Of course, apart from Lola, who we reliably think popped up the other day. So you got Jojo, Okingo, who just arrived. Grumpy old man, you saw how the cabs in Kaleo went to meet Okingo, and you're saying it's just like waiting for Daddy to come home. And I hope Daddy, in this case Okingo, came with some goodies to the family. I mean, here in Africa, when you know your father is just about to come, we run to the gate. We run to meet him. He'll always, carry something with himself before he enters the house. So you get small little wind. Oh, your dad has been seen coming. Ooh, see the kids running. And we saw Kaleo's cubs behaving the same way. And You can see color right there. And not once. I mean, I have always been confused every day, every week, every month. Who is the father of these cubs? The times I think it's Jojo, the times I think it's Okingo, but lately I have been thinking it is Otipo. And you know what? Time will tell.
Okay guys, so I had to give up tracking. I picked up the tracks again. That male lion joined up with the rest of the pride and they headed into guarri bushes. Now the trees to the right of camera are called guarri bushes and they're very, very thick. And I got to a point where I could not go anymore because it actually had become unsafe, and I'm going to show you why. Because if you are walking, I'm literally right in front of you guys at the moment. Now if I'm walking and I can't see what's happening and I go into thick bush and next minute the lion does this, I'm going to be in big trouble. So it literally, the bush had become as thick as this. And sometimes you've got to play devil's advocate, and you've got to choose when to carry on tracking, and you've got to be safe when you're on your own. Obviously with guests you've got to be safe all the time, but sometimes when you're on your own you can chance it with your training. And Penny, thank you. All is good, no worries, no scratch. Although the only damage I caused to myself was when I bent down there, I scratched myself in the thorn. That's the only damage that I've caused to myself today, luckily. But this is the kind of thing that you've got to watch out for, guys. When you are tracking, if any of you guys are looking at getting into the industry one day, you can push it so far and then eventually you have to just call it. And those lions went right into a humongous thicket. So it was pretty much everything that Umpo is showing you, but about 3-4 times the size. And the thing is at this time of day, they're sleeping, they'll be lying down, they'll be resting. And if you startle them, like I showed you over there, but it'll pop up and then you're too close and you can't do anything. You can't back off. So we'll pick up the tracks again tomorrow and see how it's going. In the meantime, we're going to head back to David, who actually does have lions.
Thank you, Sean. And we just found out with Shiv here on camera that Moja was not only where we had Jojo and the marsh guards feeding, and we thought possibly he is hungry. Not once we have seen females actually doing the hunt and the male snatching the carcass from them. I think we are right, because he was not there. Basically he's hungry. That's Jojo following that one particular female that we saw. And let's go to Tristan quickly to find out who is walking by him.
It is an awesome sight. We've got the two boys up and moving now and walking down the road straight towards us. The pride is behind us at the moment, so they're just going straight to where the lionesses are. But nice to have them up and moving. I was hoping they were going to stay on the road rather than split around us, but we're getting surrounded by lions, which is always a treat. Don't spray the car. Luckily the males in the Sabi Sands don't do it often, but in the Mara and Serengeti they often spray the vehicles. He's phlegm and grimacing. So I'm sure one of the females must have urinated there. Yes, the girls are right there, boy. You don't need to analyze the scent too much. And here he comes. The only thing is that both of them don't smell very good today. They've got this smell of almost rotting flesh about them, which is not very pleasant at all. But maybe if I switch it over, can you see them? If I duck, there you go, you can see them just through. This one is laid down, and he, like I say, it doesn't smell very good at all, so I want to just get onto a different side of the wind. Nadine saying that we needed to be creative and use another camera since they were behind us, everybody. So now you have to see me while we turn around, because the boys have decided to lie down anyway. And you've got the whole pride in the background, which is very, very cool. So now that Bibo is all sorted, you'll be able to see all of them in one long line. So smallest Nzenga, closest to us, then the bigger one, and then the rest of the pride. I think this is where they think they left the rest of the cubs, and so that's why they've come here. This is where we had them, was it yesterday? The day before? Day before. And so I'm sure that's why they've come to this open clearing. So now it was incredible. It's one of those things you never get used to out here, whether it's big male lions or leopards, that feeling of when they just walk past you gently like that. It's very, very cool. Like I said, Bibo had the pound seat. He was the closest at the back there. But it's a crazy thing when you get a male lion walking and his head is at the same level as your kind of shoulder when you're sitting down in the front, or at the same level as your bottom when you are sitting in the back there. It's it kind of feels a bit surreal that they're not going to do anything to you, considering that they eat meat for the most part. Now you'll notice that all of them are facing in a southerly direction at the moment, so the wind direction has completely changed today. We've gone from having a northerly wind, which is our berg wind, our warm wind, it's the fair weather wind, and it's now changed to come from the southeast. So when we get the southeasterly wind, that brings all our cold weather and rain, and so these lions are facing into the wind, I'm sure, because A, they're going to get scent, and B, sound carries on the wind towards them a lot better. So they like to be able to face that direction and listen and smell. You might find that there's some tasty morsel that they're picking up, and that's why all the lionesses are kind of looking in that direction. You might find also that they're going to leave the cubs here and then head off and try and hunt in that way. Mafire, which apparently Nadine says maybe the pronunciation is not quite right, so I do apologize if it's not. However, she's saying that these two boys remind you of Darkmane a little bit, except that they're in a lot better condition. Not that Darkmane was ever an ugly lion, he just unfortunately suffered that injury, and so he was always on the skinnier side compared to these two. But I do understand where you get that sort of look from. He had a very similar sort of face, if that's the right way to put it, like the muzzle. And so I can fully understand where you get that from. But we are probably going to have to go into infrared fairly soon. It's gotten very dingy all of a sudden. It's kind of crept up on us. It felt sort of...
I'm Butch James, World Cup winning Springbok fly half. Rugby has taken me to many incredible places around the world, but it's Africa's wild places where I feel most at home. This July and August, after the Springbok tests against England, Wales and the All Blacks, join me on a series of luxury safaris. There we will share some rugby stories, open fires and some incredible wildlife sightings, all under the African skies. See you in the bush.
We're going to be witnessing the relocation of a female cheetah that was born right here in Welgevonden Game Reserve. She's been moved to Lapalala Wilderness.
Would you like to know what an elephant's favorite food is? You could ask me questions like that in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive from the heart of Africa.
The Fortunas over here.
Watch Safari Live and connect with nature.
The Explorer Chat is a magnificent way to make new friends who share your interest in nature. As an explorer, you'll also get your very own dashboard and personalized profile, plus the ability to save and share your favorite wildlife incidents with our brand new Safari Screenshots feature. Share sightings, swap stories, and experience nature together with people who feel the same pull to the wild as you do. Wild Earth Explorers, wilder together.
Someone had obviously bitten off part of his little toe, or had bitten off his entire toe, and he only had 3 of the 4 little toes, and then obviously he has that big pad. So, you know, he was doing pretty fine. He wasn't limping on it. It was raw, looking a bit raw. It had not scabbed yet, but he survived. It wasn't a very kind of big injury that one would think, you know, is a touch and go for survival, but no, not actually. So yeah, these animals, they are tougher than you think they are, and you know, they survive. They will survive. They will survive. Anyway, we left our area where we left the area where the lions were. Turns out we weren't the only people looking for them, circling for the females, and unfortunately we were unable to find them. Lola, I wouldn't say it's easier to track them, but you can definitely see where the limp marks are. Once it goes off the road, maybe the broken grasses. If you're in an area, I suppose like this, it's very, very sandy. It is a bit easier to kind of to find such, but you know, once it's gone off the road, it does become a little bit more difficult. In the sand, pretty easy to find them. But no. Anyway, we're going to see if we can't potentially find, actually turn around here. We're going to see if we can't potentially find those elephants for the last few moments of the drive. And it's actually, I think from what I understand, they are just behind the lodge. But we're going to send you over to Sean and find out what he is intending to find within the last, 40 minutes of drive.
Hello guys, so this is a lesson for every single person listening and watching. Never ever ever give up, because just when we thought it was done, we found our lions. And not only did we find our lions, but we found the lion. We found Pasanwari with the rest of the Black Dam pride, and Impo and I are just ecstatic. And literally on the other side of that guarri bush that I did not want to go into. So it just goes to show you, thank goodness I did not go into this guarri bush, because I would have had quite a few problems on my hands and I would have chased them away. But our boy is there, and very good news, he is fat. He is fat and happy and we're going to stay with them for as long as we can. Hopefully get him up a little bit so you guys can see him in all his glory. But oh man, guys, sure, what an afternoon. Unbelievable. So they had killed something just off to the right of us, and we'll put that on camera at some stage. But I can't see what they killed. It's completely it's gone. The only thing that's left is stomach contents and some bones. So it probably was lots of mouths, but it was probably something maybe like an impala or maybe a wildebeest or something like that. I'll try and get an ID on it. But there we go. There's one popping up. Hopefully Pasanwari will put his head up just to say hello. Yo, Impo, unbelievable, buddy. Hey, gee whiz. We were just starting to talk about tomorrow morning, and I was also oh, hello. Sorry, I was just watching this one lion over here. Oh, they're all full. So it was something big. I don't think it was an impala. I think it was something bigger. But yeah, we were just talking about leaving, and these guys popped up. Water lady, I know. I'll be honest. I was so sad, you know, when you're tracking. But that's the thing, you know, like, and the thing with being a guide is I've been a guide long enough to know that sometimes you actually just need to let Mother Nature just do its thing, and you know, not be so dogged in trying to find them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, we found them, and I kind of wish now I hadn't done the segment of me popping out of the bush as well, to try and show you that what had happened. But be that as it may, you see why I did that. Nadine liked that segment apparently, so I'm all good. As long as Nadine liked it, it's cool. Poor Impo has to deal with my harebrained schemes every now and again, but it was all worth it. I think we'll leave Pasanwari having a little bit of a snooze there. I'm gonna just move quickly, and I'll try and line Impo up with this lion, and yeah, we'll come back, guys. We're going to head over to Tristan, but we will be back. We'll stay with these guys. See you just now.
Well, they're sleeping for now. The rest of the pride is left. So females, cubs, all gone south. The other 5 cubs are just behind us on Gari Main. So I'm surprised that these females didn't pick them up quickly on the way. And I'm sure those cubs are going to get left at some point along the Mulawati here to fend for themselves for the night while the females go off hunting. But the 2 boys have just sat, and it actually works in our favor because obviously we can't follow the girls in the dark with the cubs in tow, and that's a closed sighting now. But the boys being by themselves, we can stay with them as long as we like. And now that they've separated enough, hopefully they're going to make a little bit of a noise and do a roar for us before the night closes in, just to try and contact those females once more, so that they know where they are. That's the hope anyway. Maybe we need Sean to go jump out of another magic worry in order to get roaring lions and to catch it. That's the tough part with these guys, is they don't give you much warning when they roar. Sometimes they just all of a sudden start belting it out, and it's a bit of a process to get across. That's fine, Nadine. He can give us his best roar. I'm all for it. I don't do those kind of things very well, but if Sean can roar like a male lion and jump out of a bush and do it, then he must go for it. I'm all for it, and I'm sure all the viewers that are too. I would imagine there would be quite an overwhelming response to see Sean's best lion roar. And maybe if he does it at Sandringham, it'll carry far enough that these guys will feel threatened and start to roar from here. Of course, that'll be probably ridiculous, but exactly, Nadine. He didn't know what he was getting himself into when he made that comment here. But it is out in the world now, so he has to do it, I'm afraid. I'll have to give us his best one. It's amazing though how these boys were so attentive to when they moved earlier, and now they're just like, meh, not interested anymore. I feel like they found their little open clearing and they're quite happy here for now. And I guess they've got full bellies, so there's no real need for them to be marching and trying to keep up from a food perspective or food drive. And clearly none of the females are in estrus right now, so... Abby, the most amount of females in one pride was a pride in Kruger on the Lubombo concession. And I'm just trying to remember the exact number, but I think it was 27 females in that pride. So yeah, that's the biggest that I've seen. It was 42 total, that pride, without males or dominant males, which is pretty ridiculous to see. It was 27 or 26, somewhere there. But that was insane pride. Sitting with them at this time of the day and then they start roaring was undoubtedly one of the most insane things to witness. When you have that many lions roaring around you, the whole car vibrates, and it was super cute because the sub-adults used to try and join in and they didn't really have a way of kind of roaring properly, so they had quite sort of squeaky roars, which was hilarious, but they kind of got drowned out anyway by everybody else. So it was a special time watching those guys. There was a documentary actually made about that pride. I can't remember what it was called though, but there was a name for it. Anyway, I'll try and figure it out. In the meantime though, let's send you across to Sean. It sounds like those lions are doing a lot more than what these are.
Paul, just let me know when you are post-shush there, my man. Are you good? And he has moved off, although he might come back, I can see, but for now we will have a look at this guy busy chewing here. But Pasanwari has a massive belly. He looks like me when my dear wife makes macaroni cheese and I devour pretty much everything and walk around the house like a big male lion, and enough carbs to run the comrades. But whatever is left over here, it must have been fairly decent, guys, because Pasanwari has a full belly, and a few of the females here have got a full belly as well. I don't see the male that ran this side, but I think... Oh, I see Pasanwari moving there. I want to see whether he... So, I just want to see whether he gives us a nice view, guys. And then you can see his macaroni cheese belly. I think I'm going to move us quickly, because he is coming a bit closer. There we go. How's that, boys? All good. Alright, so there he is, guys. There he is, and check that macaroni cheese belly there. There's the star of the show. Finally. Overexposing the shop. Thank you, Roz. We appreciate it. Oh, now he's moved. Okay, so let's go back to old Munchy Muncher here. Quickly. Paul is like bombing around the vehicle here. Getting spacious. Let me know, Paul. Sharp. All good. Okay. I mean, to be honest with you, it's so nice when you have this problem, isn't it? When you have one lion that gets up and you don't know which one to go to. This is like a guide's dream. Which one should we do? Should we do the one that's eating the bone? Should we do the white lion? Should we do... It's unbelievable, man. How your luck can change just like that. And this guy is... Oh. So the only problem with what has happened now is the wind is blowing the stomach content smell across Mpona. And yeah, it's not the nicest smell in the world. And still can't exactly see what was killed. I'll come back here in the morning and we'll come back to this spot. Cat fan, yeah, he's going to be a very, very, very sexy boy one day, I think. And he's done well, you know. The male lion must be around here somewhere. Because it was his tracks that we followed into the area. You know, if he's still being able to eat as much as he's eaten with the males around, it's good news. And it just shows that he has that survival instinct that will that's going to stand him in good stead. Like every male lion, though, once he hits the age where eventually he gets kicked out, and he will get kicked out, he is going to have to go out on his own. And whether you're a white lion or a normal lion, normal colored lion, you have to fend for yourself, and you spend years in the wilderness, sometimes up to 3 years or so. Trying to get a pride going and trying to survive, and they become scavengers. So as much as hyenas are much maligned because of their scavenger behavior, male lions, when they leave, they become scavengers. They steal from other lions, they steal from hyenas, they steal from wild dogs, from cheetah. They'll feed on small antelopes where they can, and they'll do anything to survive, and that's the survival instinct that keeps them going. I remember many years ago, before COVID, I was guiding in Klaseri, and there was a male lion named Duma, and he was the weirdest lion. He was stunning. We used to call him Chris Hemsworth because he had this beautiful blonde mane, and he was a beautiful boy, and he had no interest in taking over a pride. He had no interest whatsoever in fighting. His face was pristine. He looked like, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, there used to be an advert for Timotei shampoo, and it had that lion, and it had that like beautiful mane. That's kind of what he looked like. But when he called, it was like thunder, hence the name Duma. And we used to have a pride called the Timbila pride in the area, and the two big males, can't remember their names now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They went out on territorial patrol, and they had a massive, massive territory, these guys. Their names were Hondo and Shantima. That was their name. And they disappeared, and Duma came into the area, and he actually picked up a female that was an estrus, and he mated with her. And the guides, we were shocked because it's something you don't see very often. So I think the boys got back, and 3 months later they had this son that was absolutely good looking, and they were like, geez, where did this guy come from? I didn't know I was carrying such good genes. But back at the ranch, it was Duma's kids. You still got a decent view there, even though you moved, Mfo. Do you want me to go back?
But we can go Pichana, just Pichana.
A little bit. Okay, cool. Just going to reposition, put on my little light here. Sure, it's a bright light, man. Just tell me when, buddy. Do you want me to turn a bit?
Go forward, so.
and then swing a bit. Okay, sorry guys, we're just doing a bit of administration here, trying to get you a better view. And then back a bit, eh? Okay, just let me know. Are we good? Okay. Sorry guys, just doing some admin. Let me know when you're good and full. Alright, so... Oh. Amazing. So there he is having a munch. Everyone else is having a big sleep. Pasanwari's head is down. All the other lions are down. So this one is finishing off the rest of whatever they had killed. But like I was saying, I'll come into this area again tomorrow morning, and there's not going to be anything left. What these lions will do is they're going to go to the nearest water source, because when they eat a lot of meat, the sodium in the blood makes them very thirsty. And so they will need to get up and go and grab something to drink. So I have no doubt they probably will not be here because there's not much left. And we'll come in, and Mpo and I will jump off the vehicle, and we'll try and discover together what they killed, and show you the stomach content and the crime scene. And I promise that I won't just jump out of the bush like I did last time. So in the meantime, guys, we'll try and stick with these guys. Hopefully the star of the show pops up again. We get one last look before we've got to leave. In the meantime, we're going to head back to Tristan and see what his lions are doing.
Well, Nadine, I think, had a moment of panic because this Nzenga put his head up and started yawning, and I think she thought maybe he was roaring, so tried to get you guys here pretty quickly, but it was just a yawn. So all is good. Everyone can calm down to a mild panic. They haven't made any noise yet. There's not even been a warm-up note. However, if it's going to be one of them, it's going to be this guy. That's going to start. And so hopefully he's going to belt one out now. That didn't work, did it? I thought it would. I thought he was going to be on cue and just be that kind of guy. Sadly, he looks like he's actually starting to fall asleep a little bit more again. But the yawn is encouraging. I mean, that maybe means that he's thinking about something. It's probably to get up and walk rather than roar, but I'm going to just put it out there to encourage him to belt one out for us. At least once before the end of drive. But while we're sitting here waiting for him to do it, what was quite interesting is that a pangolin was found again tonight. So that's 2 nights in a row that a pangolin has been found in this part of the world. It's unfortunately not on our traverse, and it's quite far from where the one was seen yesterday, but pretty crazy that there's been 2 in 2 nights. Just shows you sometimes you can hit a little hot streak with them. Pam, you say, come on boys, roar for us. I know, there's lots of yawning, but no noise coming out just yet. So I'm hoping that we're going to hear a little soft kind of, and then it'll go from there. That's what we need to hear. No, buddy. Lying down is not the way. Although they do sometimes roar when they lie down. It's not uncommon for male lions to do this. But that was a lot of yawning to go to sleep. This is why lions are tough work sometimes. When you see a leopard yawning like that, it's almost certain that there's going to be some movement. Lions, you're never quite sure. They can yawn and yawn and yawn, and then all of a sudden they just flop back down. So I was kind of hoping that we would see him actually move a bit more than what he's doing. Although I suppose he's rolling around a bit, but you can see that belly is fairly full when he does do it. Nadine, I just want to know if you send Sean a picture of this, is this also what he looks like when he's had his macaroni and cheese rolling on his back on the couch? Cat fan, you say you've got 16 minutes, mister. Give us a roar. Well, he's up at least. I feel like Sean's going to have to do a whole mac and cheese lion roar / roll on his belly, his back. We're going to have to do a whole skit here at this rate. but he's off. It doesn't seem like he wants to make too much noise. The last time I was with him at this time of the day, this is exactly what happened. Is the smaller of the two got up and went, and then he started roaring once he was quite far away, and then this one roared right next to us and then caught up. But he's yawning too, so I suspect he's going to get up so shortly and also start walking. Maybe they know that conditions are really good for hunting tonight, and that's why they're not making a noise. It's unusual for these two boys. They generally do like to roar. You can see the distance they can cover quite quickly. That guy's disappearing into the darkness pretty fast. Sorry about the front of the car, everybody. I parked a little bit badly because there was other cars that were trying to come past us, and we were focused on the other one behind us. But Bebo, I've done you badly there. I'm so sorry. He's up to. Alright, let's follow these two boys and see what they get up to. Oh, that's a delightful pose for that. Not ideal for the angle of this camera to have them doing the downward dog right into the lens. It's all of the things that we don't really need to see when it comes to lions. Yeah, exactly, Nadine. They're like, you want to roar, you can have this instead. I feel like that was a subtle hint as to what they actually feel. Sure, boys, you do not smell good. You guys smell like you've eaten a dead elephant. It's not a pleasant smell at all. I'm just going to go ahead of them while they're walking on the grass, because they're going to kind of come towards where we are then, and we can have them both coming in our direction. You might be wondering why I'm not driving with lights on, but I don't know, we can still kind of see. It's not as dark as it looks on the camera, but I will put the lights on shortly because I want to see. There's a little track that you can go in on here, so I'll just take that little track. These guys are following the females. The females walked exactly in this direction as well. Park here. There we go. They should be coming straight to us to the right, Bebo. Yeah, there we go. A bit of a sneeze. Unfortunately, must have created some dust for these two boys when I was driving. Okay. So you see how they're trying to smell and work out where these lionesses went. Noses are down, and this is where it is amazing to watch cats, is how they are able to track each other down by just using scent particles that have been left behind in the grass. To be fair, the lionesses all stopped and urinated in this area. Every single one of them kind of squatted around this section, but the fact that they can trace exactly where they go always astounds me. I wish that I had that ability to. Imagine you could track lions or leopards by just seeing their scent particles. So not that we'd have to sniff their urine, but if you could just see the scent particle, that'd be quite cool. I think he might come and mark a guarri bush that's just next to us here. No? No, Nadine, that would be very awkward if everyone walked around just sniffing each other and trying to figure out where everyone went. I don't think that would go down very well. It might be frowned upon. So don't be doing that, anybody. So he's going to just move down. It's quite crazy. He has this whole area to move in, and he's decided to walk basically in front of us.
I'm Butch James, World Cup winning Springbok fly half. Rugby has taken me to many incredible places around the world, but it's Africa's wild places where I feel most at home. This July and August, after the Springbok tests against England, Wales and the All Blacks, join me on a series of luxury safaris. There we'll share some rugby stories, open fires and some incredible wildlife sightings, all under the African skies. See you in the bush.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
We are following the story of 32 rhinos that are making their way to their new home at Mabula Private Game Reserve.
We haven't seen Vuli for quite a long time. There's a lioness with 3-day-old cubs that is around here.
Isn't that beautiful?
Those little ones are so playful. Hey guys.
Can really see how big he is.
Oh, have you got him? Okay, cool. Yes, so I hope the macaroni cheese pride sticks, to be honest with you. That's my hope for the future, as well as Nadine deleting me jumping out of a bush. That would be great. I'm just going to turn my light on. I just want to see, have you got him there, Info? Okay. Yeah, so they are going to, the probability of them getting up and lying down now and spending the rest of the night are very high. But like I said, they are going to go and find some water at some stage. But with bellies that big, they most certainly will be chilling here for a little bit. And it's the perfect weather to actually do it in. It's not, they can have a nice snooze tomorrow, sleep in a little bit, hopefully not too far away from here so we can find them again. Off this one goes to the rest of the pride. I'm going to switch over. Ooh. I am back and we'll have a look. Stephanie, they are very full, and most of them actually seem to have eaten. So I'm glad. I'm really glad because food is everything out here. Everything out here is about energy store, and it's for them a meal like this that'll last them 3 or 4 days is everything. It keeps them going, keeps them alive, keeps them strong enough to be able to catch the next thing. And there's many mouths here. Many mouths that need to be fed, so it's going to be difficult for these females. The same problem as we have with the Nzengas and the Nkuhuma Pride. Lots of mouths to feed. It can be quite difficult, but they seem to have done quite well. How are we doing there, my friend?
He's vanished.
Has he vanished? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to reverse a little bit and see whether we can get a better view, but they're all starting to move off into that clump of guarri bushes, the famous guarri bushes. Just want to make sure that I don't accidentally... Am I right? Oh... Great way to end off the drive though, guys. Lots of lions around. It's wonderful. Just let me know if I'll go as slowly as I can. Okay. No. Is that good? Okay, cool. So let me know. Alright. So there we go. Back. With a nice view. How awesome is this infrared camera? It's so cool, man. I tell you, it's dark here, dark. And this is so cool to be able to give you give you these pictures when it's so dark like this. Anyway, I think we're going to move on, guys. I think triumphant return back to the main road is the right thing to do. We're going to go back to Tristan. And Tristan, if you're listening, buddy, I'm sure Nadine will relay this to you. Macaroni cheese challenge is on.
Well, while we try get out of the Mulawati, because unfortunately the lines went straight across the riverbed and didn't walk in it, so I'm trying to see if I can quickly get around for one last view. I'm not sure we're going to manage it, unfortunately, but we'll try. Come on, car. Here we go. I think Bebo in the back there is having the time of his life. The best time, Bebo. Is that the quickest that you've navigated the Mulawati? So Sean is saying macaroni and cheese challenge. I'm going to employ Mpo to take part for me, because Mpo is always hungry, so I feel like he would be a good competitor in this, and would really help my cause. Stuck in bed, you say? What a fantastic day out in the bush. Thank you, team. Well, our absolute pleasure. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I see the impalas scattering up in front here, so I'm going to just quite hope that we've got these lines for one last view shortly. Just got to get over these mountainous speed bumps that are here. So the impala's all running at this stage. I don't know where the females went, because I didn't see their tracks in the riverbed, so I don't know what these guys are following, unless the females are somewhere on this clearing as well. Oh, 60 seconds to get there and to see if we can find them, and for... This is where I thought they would be. Maybe a little bit further north of us. It would have been nice if they were just roaring down the road at us to finish up, wouldn't it? But I suspect that that is not going to be the case. But anyway, we'll just put you onto the dash cam just to say good night to all of you. Hopefully you guys have had a wonderful afternoon. It's been a good one from our side of things. It's been so nice to have lots of lion content, but sadly I don't think we're going to find these guys. I think they are somewhere in this thicket still, but we'll see you all tomorrow morning on the Sunrise Safari.
Good evening. Did you hear that?